All right, I'm back, still with a princess crown on. That means that it's very serious. When the Pain Warrior Princess has the crown on, it's very serious. Let me move this back. Sorry. Y'all want to bask in the glory of the crown. Part 3 of Thanksgiving tips for when you have chronic pain and chronic illness. Part 1, we talked about planning and organizing everything well when it comes to the menu, the recipes, the shopping list, all of that stuff. When you get home from the store, how do you organize it? Prepping ahead as far as time and dishes, and this needs this temperature this time. We talked about all that, how to handle it. We also talked about some expectations. There's pumpkin, apple, and pecan pie. You have alternatives to have those same or very similar flavors on your table, but make it a lot easier for yourself. And we'll be going into a few of those now. We talked about the turkey in part 2. A whole turkey looks beautiful, great. It's very easy to mess up, and it takes a long time in your oven. So we talked about alternatives for that. This year, what we are doing, same thing we did last year, is to make pieces of turkey separately. They cook a lot quicker. And in part 2, I also talked about these foil pans that are the best thing. Well, maybe not the best thing, but one of the best things we've ever bought at Costco. A package of 30 for about $5-6. That means I will have much fewer dishes to do after the cooking and the eating is done. Now let's talk about bargains at the store. There's one in particular I wanted to mention, and you know what, I'll throw in a bargain about the turkey too. And yeah, we'll talk about some recipes. So this is something I wanted to show you, and I think probably all stores do this just because it's Thanksgiving and they have a lot of sales then. Oh, this is heavy, and I really should not have bent over sideways to get it. Oh, this is a 10-pound bag of potatoes. I had it first in my cart a 5-pound bag because it was $1.99. I thought that's a good deal. Then I went by and I saw the bin of 10 pounds of potatoes for the same price, for $1.99. Now, am I going to eat, and my family going to eat 10 pounds of potatoes? I don't know. I hope so. But if not, what we'll do is cook them up for the dogs and stuff. But my point is, if you try to get as much as you can for your dollar, I prefer to have things like this and then have to kind of figure out a way to use them up than to wish that I had taken advantage of a really good deal. So yeah, see if your store has those kind of things. Last year it was like 69 cents for 5 pounds of potatoes, so it will change every year, so kind of keep that in mind with your budget. But yeah, got a great deal on that, so I snagged them up. Also, I noticed that spices were on sale for good price. I'm kind of looking around the kitchen, seeing what else I bought that I can kind of talk about with the bargains. Yams are usually $1.69 a pound or something like that. Where I am, they were 99 cents a pound. So all that kind of stuff will go on sale for Thanksgiving. So make sure that you check out your sales flyers, your store's apps. You take advantage of that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the turkey. In part 2, we did talk about that we're going to go to Sprouts and get turkey pieces. If you're not familiar with Sprouts, kind of like a Whole Foods kind of place, organic stuff. But the price of the turkey there, let me see if I can throw in a screenshot here. The price of the pieces of turkey there, and they weren't natural or organic like I did get at the Kroger store I went to, was I think $2.99 a pound for the pieces. And then the giblets and the turkey back or turkey neck, I can't remember which one it is, but it'll be on here, was $1.99 a pound. So we got to do the giblets and the neck and the back for the dogs. It's, one of the things that we do to get them involved in Thanksgiving, and they smell the turkey cooking all day. It's just nice to give them something to snack on. But at the Kroger store, by the way, my local Kroger store is Fry's, if that helps anybody. I really like their app. I use it all the time. I get a lot of coupons from them. We get fuel points. It's a great thing. The natural turkey that I got at Fry's was $1.99 a pound. That's $1 cheaper a pound than at Sprouts to get turkey pieces. But I can butcher a turkey. I can cut them up. I've done it before. What I'll do is go to a cooking YouTube channel, find how to butcher a turkey, and just refresh my memory. And doing so is going to save me time in the oven. It's going to save me worrying about the whole turkey kind of drying out, worrying about the skin getting burned, making sure that I can find a big enough container to fit a whole turkey in to brine it. There are a lot of things that go into making a turkey, and I've always just found that if you cook turkey pieces, it just really makes it a lot easier in many different ways. So this was a bargain. This was how we saved some money. Now, it's definitely not as big of a bargain as if you were to buy just a regular whole turkey. Like I said, this one was a natural turkey that we got. A regular turkey there was about, the Kroger brand was about 68 cents for a frozen turkey. And of course you have to use your loyalty card. But 68 cents is a pretty good deal, but we wanted a natural turkey, so we spent the $1.99. And it was still a better deal than where we went last year for turkey pieces. So yeah, check those things out if natural or organic is important to you. But see if you can get into your planning to kind of save yourself some time with doing turkey pieces. All right, so let's talk about the menu and where I was able to kind of find some things that would work out. Let's talk about the stuffing. We got to do gluten-free, dairy-free stuffing. And I was looking for cornbread. Now, the deal with corn is because of the pesticides that are used when it is grown, organic corn is really the best option, whether it's corn on the cob, canned corn, cornmeal, any of those things, that is the best option. I could not find cornmeal in the 2 stores that I went to that is organic. So I kind of abandoned the cornmeal stuffing idea. And I didn't want to get regular stuffing cubes because of course they're made with wheat. So here's what we decided to do. Last time, one of the last few times we went to Costco, we got Char gluten-free white bread. They had like a double package of it, really good price. If you're going to go with gluten-free bread and just want a plain old white bread, I really recommend this brand. I liked it a lot. So if you can find it, let me see if I can put a picture of it right up here. What I'm going to do with that is take some of it out of the freezer and make stuffing cubes out of it. It's really not a hard thing to do. And you can use this tip to make stuffing cubes or croutons for your salad. All you have to do is cut up the bread into cubes. You can mix it with a little oil and some spices if you'd like to. And then lay it out on a baking sheet, put your oven on low. I think last time I did it was around 175, 150. You definitely don't want it to be too high because then your bread will burn before it gets dried out. So what you're going to do is put those cubes in the oven for a couple of hours, kind of judge them when they are dry, and when you squeeze them and it's very hard to squish it. Sorry, I couldn't think of that word. When it's very hard to squish it, when they're hard, just like stuffing cubes, take them out and they're done. So if you need or you want your stuffing to be based on a particular bread, maybe you have a favorite multigrain bread, maybe you want to make it with rye bread, pumpernickel, I don't know, whatever you want to do. You can use this tip to make your own stuffing cubes, and then you can really personalize your stuffing how you and your family like. Okay, mashed potatoes. So, let me kind of go back to the stuffing. You got to have butter in stuffing, right? Or oil. I prefer butter. It's a little richer and it tastes better. There are a lot of good vegan butters on the market. We've used several of them. Earth Balance, we've used both the soy-free one, the one that has soy, and there's another one that they have. I can't remember right now, but we've used that too. There's one that's avocado oil based. I'll see if I have a picture of it on my phone I can show you. And then Country Crock just recently came out with plant butters, and I got some that are in sticks. I think that's all I saw in the store was sticks. They have it with avocado oil. They have it with olive oil. So I got the ones with avocado oil to cook with and have Thanksgiving with. So they're just like butter sticks. You can use them anywhere you would use butter, except they're vegan. So that's how I'm going to incorporate the richness in the butter into our stuffing and some other dishes with it still being vegan. Okay, let's move on. Mashed potatoes, same deal. That's what reminded me of the vegan butter. And we also have almond milk in the house, and we have pea protein milk, Ripple brand and Bolthouse. I think that's what it is. Let me see if I can put a picture in here. So I'll be using that as substitutes for regular butter and for milk. We haven't had dairy milk in the house in a long time, at least 3 or 4 years. I use almond milk in my coffee. With somebody who lives in the house, he cannot have almonds, so we get the pea protein milk. But this is how I am going to have similar flavors but make it vegan. Almond or pea protein milk and vegan butter. So they will both go in the mashed potatoes, which I will probably make the night before. And I'll put them in the fridge, and then in a foil pan, of course. I love these foil pans. Can you not tell? Foil pan. And then I will put it in the oven with sufficient time to warm it up before dinner. That's going to take a lot of pressure off me on Thursday so I can enjoy time with my family. Same thing with the yams. What I'm going to do is cook the yams, boil them, then, kind of mash them up, whip them, put them in a container like this. And then on Thursday, I'm going to throw the marshmallows on, throw it in the oven, and then it will heat up. The marshmallows will get brown on top. It'll be beautiful, and it will take me 5 minutes of work on Thanksgiving Day. Organic corn, we talked about that. Yeah, I can't find it. I have a whole thing of bagged items here, but... Oh, is that it? No. But this is another good tip. I bought a lot of organic beans at my Fry's/Kroger store. And the reason that I bought these is because I'm going to make turkey chili with some of the leftovers. So this is a great, great deal. It was $1 for each can of these organic beans. Garbanzo beans, here's another tip for you. During the day, what we snack on in our house is usually chips and dip and a veggie tray with some dip. Dips that I'm going to make this year, I'm going to make some hummus. It's super easy if you haven't made it. And you can also use the liquid in here. It's called aquafaba. You can use that to make whipped cream that's vegan. But these, it's so easy to make hummus, really. You just put these in a bowl. You grind them up. I use a potato masher and then an immersion blender. Sorry. Immersion blender. I've been talking for so long, I'm confusing words. And then you just add some garlic to it, some lemon juice to it, and you have your hummus. Another thing I'm going to make, is tahini. This is another super, super simple dip that you can make. Tahini is sesame paste, and all you do to make like the dip out of it, you put tahini and water, pretty much equal parts, in a bowl. You add some lemon juice, a little Tabasco, some salt. You mix it together, let it sit on the counter. I do for about an hour. To see how thick it's going to get. If it's not thickening up enough for you, you can put it in the fridge, take it out in an hour, see how it is. And then if you need to adjust your seasonings, you can do that. If you need to add more tahini paste, you can do that. Something to keep in mind with this, a lot of it sinks to the bottom and you're going to get oil on top. So take that into account. What I do every time I open one of these is I really dig in the bottom and I make sure I get everything as mixed as I can while avoiding getting the oil all over me and all over the table. So we have about 2 minutes left for this IGTV video, so I'm going to talk about the other dips that I'm making, and then we'll talk about desserts in a part 4. This is going to be 2 parts, not 4 parts. Another dip that I'm making is onion dip, and I am going to take some help from the store with this. It's going to be vegan though, so when they talk about mixing this with a container of sour cream, I'm going to use tofu. You use silken tofu that's firm, and there's a recipe for it. I'll see if I can find the link to it. But basically, to the tofu, you add some lemon juice, some garlic, and what that does, and some salt. What that does is make the tofu kind of curdle a little bit, so it's more like sour cream. You can also make buttermilk this way if you have a vegan milk, like an almond milk. Add some apple cider vinegar or some lemon juice to it. Let it sit, stir it up, and then you have basically buttermilk. So I'm making sour cream for this onion dip out of tofu, and then I'm making a dill dip. And the way that I am going to make a sour cream for that is actually cashew cream. Raw cashews, I'll soak them in hot water for about an hour. I'll grind them up really good in a food processor, add some spices to it, add some dill to it, and that's basically going to be those 2 dips. So again, onion dip, dill dip, hummus, tahini, those are going to be our dips to have during the day with some chips and some veggies. And I also am big on onion dip all over everything on my Thanksgiving plate. Turkey, stuffing, rolls, it doesn't matter. It goes on everything except my fruit salad and my desserts. So, all right, come back for part 4 where we're going to be talking Thanksgiving desserts. Thank you.